What's up everybody, it's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back and playing a coaster and our recreation of Silver Dollar City. Now today we're going to be going off right where we left off, and that was the transfer track of Outlaw Run. Now I decided to use the iBox track for this for a couple of different reasons. Because the track that's actually used on the transfer and in the station building, you know, the actual maintenance building right here, is actually metal track. There's actually no wood on them, so I thought it'd be nice to actually use these for the transfer as well, or in the storage building as well. Now I know this. I've been in the storage building, so I actually know how it's kind of laid out. So there's actually no, there's actually no like walkway right under the track itself. So the actual floor is actually well below under it, where it was close enough for maintenance to actually mess with it and stuff, the trains and stuff. But it's actually not right under the track. Like I do start out right here. I just kind of had that as a guide purpose, and the track kind of hangs over outside just a tad, and that was the best I could do right there. I thought it looked pretty darn good, and it's really cool. So the transfer, I kind of went into more detail and stuff and got rid of some of the beams because it's only like 3x3 support structure beams, and these actually work very well because they're very similar, and that's actually really a real good thing. So I feel like I got a lot done in this episode. Of course I did record just a little bit longer than what I usually do, so I actually just for an update on this recreation, I actually was able to snap a couple photos of the main square of Silver Dollar City, so I might be able to go back to that for an episode or two. We'll see, because I actually was on the park today, which is actually really awesome because we were it's off season, so I was able to get some photos while there was absolutely no one pretty much there. And I have to say it's pretty epic and awesome to be able to be in the park during the off season. It's kind of a maze too because they have a lot of places blocked off due to a lot of construction and repaving of pathways and stuff like that. So there's a lot of hectic things going on. So anyways, like I said, I know the interior of this storage building pretty well, so I kind of want to make sure it's kind of slightly detailed as well. There's actually a little walkway that goes next to the track right here in the storage building, and there is it's kind of like a little metal walkway. There's not like a real fence right here, but I put one there just for poops and giggles because I thought it actually looked good. There's not like a real metal fence there, but it looks pretty good from this perspective, so I thought it would actually fit in well. You're not going to be really able to see this section anyways, and there's actually metal stairs that go down here to the ground level where maintenance works on the trains and cars and stuff while the trains are not in operation, and it looks pretty awesome. And there's not much to the storage building here except there's just a lot of tools and different things throughout inside that storage building. So it's really cool to be able to know the actual inside of these storage buildings and stuff, because you can actually make it, kind of get the size right a little bit better and stuff like that. It looks really cool. There's actually a little room under the dock itself, which is actually kind of like almost like a break room kind of, but it's actually more like a maintenance office to say. So anyways, it looks really cool, and I'm excited how it actually turns out. And yeah, still a lot more to go for this section, and by no means are we close to getting done with Outlaw Run. It will probably take quite a few more episodes because there's just so much more to do. I do work a little bit more on the layouts, and I kind of correct a few things in the layout itself. I make the barrel roll a lot smoother. I'm actually very happy how that's turning out. It's not perfect yet by no means, but I'm getting very close. And same for the wave turn as well. I actually adjust that to where it's a little bit larger because it is a little bit larger in real life as well. So I actually looked about the track length on the coaster, and I'm only about 10 feet off from the actual track length itself. The track length on Outlaw Run is 2,937 feet, and the statistics that came back after I get it worked on and everything is, I think it was like 2,923 feet. So that's how close I was to actually getting the track length 100% accurate. I was just over 10 feet off, which means my track was just slightly under what the actual ride is itself, which is okay because I think there's a couple of sections I want to make a little bit different anyways, and it might actually get it a little bit closer. So as for this section, it has some footers as well on these little beams that support the transfer table. So I wanted to make sure I keep true to that and make sure that it's as accurate as possible. It's also sitting on this hill, so because it is kind of dips down further, and the terrain is just crazy where this thing sits, so it's just kind of awkward, and we're gonna work it in a little bit better once we actually get into the real save and stuff like that. So that's gonna be kind of another challenge. I think we're gonna make a lot of adjustments when we actually import all these things into the actual save itself. I'm doing my best for each building section to make sure that it's all under 2,000 pieces. Otherwise, you can't save it as a blueprint, I believe. I believe that's the correct number. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 2,000 pieces, which some of them are hardly over 1,000. So we're doing pretty good in that. So we're just going to have to piece it together a little bit, and that will be really cool. And I'm very excited to see what the April update has in store for us as well. So I might come back to this eventually if the April update comes up with something that's going to be very useful for this section. Yeah, you never know. It could be making me rework a couple of areas. You never know how that works out. So we'll just have to see how all of that plays out. So but if you haven't noticed already, I go back to other things and make adjustments to try and get it in proportion of what the actual ride looks like and stuff like that. So there's I'm saying stuff like that quite a bit in this episode. I apologize just before somebody comments. That's happening. So there's actually a little catwalk right here at the end of the station, and it actually goes pretty much all the way down to where the trains sit. Now, I made the block section in a certain spot on this coaster on purpose because the train actually sets and it's at that angle. You'll see, but it's kind of hard to explain it, but it's very accurate. And then about when I get to this, I'm like, this is a little bit too much catwalk. The catwalk's too wide, so I have to adjust a little bit of the wall and make it a little bit wider so this catwalk is not as wide. Because it is lined up against that wall right there, so the wall actually adds kind of like, instead of a railing, it has the actual wall there for the Trailblazer entrance and stuff like that. So there's stuff like that again, but it's quite a good thing. I just kind of stop it right there for right now until further notice, because I want to get that worked on to the side just a little bit more before I move on to that any further. So it's looking quite nice and quite good, and I feel like stuff is starting to come together, and after I get some roofs on some of the station roof going here pretty soon, which hopefully in the next few episodes we'll get that completed, it's going to start looking a lot more completed and really good. So I think on the next episode we might even work a little bit on the gift shop, on the exit and stuff, and maybe make that walkway that goes over the lift, or the base of the lift hill, and to get that all going as well, and make sure that everything's just kind of there, and we'll be in pretty good shape. And probably about the time I complete this, I'll be in good shape to start on the regular parts of the park. I actually got a couple of reference photos today for some of the buildings on the square, like Hannah's Ice Cream, and just a couple of other buildings that are on the square, so I'll be able to build those. I should have no problem building them, but we'll figure out that in the future. So it's all going to be nice and interesting, and I'm very, very hopeful that I'm going to be able to fit all of this into the actual park itself. And I'm going to have more of a challenge, because this is probably going to be a project that takes well over a year. to complete. So there's actually the new ride being built right now. So that's going to be another challenge to be able to build that when that opens. So I'm going to get like all done with the park, and I'm like, nope, you still got a new section to build and stuff like I caught myself there. See, I didn't say it. And stuff like that. I'll go ahead and say it so you guys can go crazy in the comments of how repetitive my commentary is, because I know I agree with it. It is kind of repetitive sometimes. I'm not the greatest commentator out there, but if you went to some of my older videos, you would figure out that oh gosh, he's gotten a lot better at commentating throughout the years, and it's so true. As for the outdoor queue, that's actually in like wood chips, and I actually got a good idea of how the wood chips will work. I actually messed with the textures a little bit, and I kind of mixed a couple of them together to kind of look a little bit like wood chips as best as I could. So it'll actually work quite nicely, and I can't wait to see how it works in the at the end and stuff, because it's going to look quite nice. And there's also like this wooden fence that I'm working on currently right here that actually goes around the transfer track and a little bit of the brake run. It's actually looking pretty nice too, and actually looks pretty close. It goes around that section, and it's kind of like a perimeter fence for the transfer track and stuff like that. It's going to be, and stuff like that again. There's signs on it as well that says danger, do not cross this barrier. If you do so, you could, die or get seriously injured. So that's that, and we're getting very close to the final stages of this area, as long as we just keep going as we go. And the pathway itself, I don't know if I'm probably gonna have to rework a lot of stuff when I do get imported. So I went ahead and actually went to the awning and tried putting this all on top of the extended queue line. It looks fantastic on the outside, but the inside is a little bit of a different story. That's the main issue I have with this, is I want this to use this texture for this part of the extended queue line. I really want to use it because it does look the best, and it looks like a tarp, kind of like a tinted ceiling, because that's what it is in real life. But the inside just looks really bad because it's actually an awning, and it has those side pieces, and it just kind of, I don't know how I'm gonna fix it. It's just that simple. But I'm sure, and I will figure out something eventually that will work. So I actually changed the color of the pathway here for the concrete. It actually has like little horseshoe designs in the pathway as well. I'm not going to be using regular pathways for this. I'm going to be using the covers that you see here, the actual flat roofs. I think it's a better way to kind of shape it around, and then we'll just put the pathways along those and actually keep them under these little covers, and it'll actually work that way. And since you can't see the pathway underneath, you can kind of do whatever design you want there, and it won't look bad. So that's kind of what we're going to be going with, and I think it will actually turn out very, very nicely. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to add some horseshoes in there. I might be able to I actually just thought of something that I could do for that would actually look pretty neat. But it won't look exact, but it'll actually go pretty well with it. So I was looking really closely at the color of the pathway. It's kind of different throughout the areas, but it's kind of like got this brownish tint to it, but it's kind of got a red tint to it. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. And this is when I work with the terrain to create kind of a wood chip effect, and it actually looks pretty good. It's not perfect. It doesn't look like wood chips, obviously, but I kind of mixed kind of like the dirt with the grass kind of, and it looked pretty good. It gives that color, and then I wanted the texture of the grass that kind of comes through, and it kind of looks like brown grass almost, but hopefully it will, I think it will work for what we're trying to do, so that will actually work quite nicely. So this is kind of where we get into some more details. This is actually going to be kind of the spot where the wait time sign is, and I'm hoping to adjust it to make it look a little bit better once it's finished. This is just kind of me messing with it, trying to figure out if this will work properly. So it's not final by no means. Everything you're seeing here, this is just me trying to get it as best as I can, and hopefully trying to figure out in the future if I can make it much better. So that's going to be really cool. So the area is coming together quite nicely. There's not really many things left I need to do. Obviously, the biggest thing I need to do is create the gift shop and the exit of the ride and stuff. That's going to be a challenge itself, because it will be, I mean, the gift shop's not going to be too hard, but trying to get that pathway over the ride itself is going to be kind of tricky, but we'll get it done and make sure that it happens. So this sign was a little bit difficult because it kind of has these little side supports, but they're not as long, and it was kind of hard to get that in there properly. And then there's like this map and stuff, and this was kind of a difficult thing too, is getting the shape of this. And then there's like signs above that. I might go ahead and get rid of the signs that I use for it, because they just kind of don't fit very well. I think they're just a little bit too large, and I actually don't get the clock itself up there yet. I feel like these were just a little bit too big, which they definitely are, and there's like 4 of them. They like point to the direction, like entrance this way, disabled entrance this way, different things like that. That's what those say. And since they're actually, I wanted to try and use signs, but they didn't really have small enough signs. I think the signs were too big. So I was like, okay, what if I just scaled the map up to be just a little bit bigger as well? And everything's just kind of oversized, and it doesn't work very well. So I'm probably going to make changes to that afterwards, but we'll see how all that turns out later. So probably in the next episode or so. But we're getting really close, and if I can just get the layout perfectly, I think we'll be in fantastic shape. So this is me getting the tents roofing all the way up. Pretty much that way it is completed, and it looks good from the outside, I think, but the inside looks kind of sketchy and kind of I'm gonna see if I can't hide it as best as I can. And if I can't, I think I just might have to live with it, because there's really not much I can do. As you can see, the inside's just getting really gross with all the, awning section parts of it. I'm just like, oh man, that kind of sucks. But I'm going to see if I can't try and hide it up as best as I can. But for the most part, the outdoor sections are going to be what I'm going to be focusing on for them anyways. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep it, but we'll see. I'm constantly gonna be changing different things to make the stuff better, and it's gonna look hopefully good. So as for the Outlaw Run sign, I did notice that it was a little bit too far down, and I actually end up moving its location just a little bit, and I realized that a entrance actually has to go behind that rock, so I had to push it forward as well. So it just gets, the proportions and locations and stuff kind of gets a little messy when you're making recreations, because stuff, is supposed to be in one spot, but sometimes it doesn't always work out in your favor. So it gets a little bit iffy at some points. Like I said, I hope someday we get like signs that aren't on a board, kind of, and almost like that big Planet Coaster sign, but have different sizes for that, and make it just words that are actually on the sign. That would be very helpful, and I'd be able to use it on this rock a lot better. The rock is perfect for this sign, but if I could actually use like that, because I didn't want to use the board here, but it still had to have the name Outlaw Run on it. I mean, I could make it myself, but it's kind of hard to make words, on, using the little tools, the shape tools, unless they had smaller shapes to use, if that makes sense. But the logo on top actually looks really good with the horse riding and stuff. That actually fit pretty well, I thought. I can't change the color of it, unfortunately, so that's kind of off. And it is a little bit too large, but it's the best I got for right now, what we can do in this game. So it would be nice if you could like mess with the shapes and then resize the entire building all together to the size that you want. That'd be very, very helpful. So there's a couple things Planet Coaster can add to let us use a little bit more creativity and stuff. but it will get there eventually, and I have no doubts that Frontier will make things right. And who knows what we're going to get in the April updates. I'm sure it'll be stuff that people have been asking for. So me personally, I think we're going... Oh gosh, I hit my microphone. I think we're going to be getting go-karts for sure, because that was in a kind of a screenshot that someone took. You could actually see go-karts in the background. I think we're going to get go-karts. As for weather, I don't think we'll have weather just yet, but you never know. They could surprise us. I think we'll get some new flat rides, maybe a new coaster type or so too. And there's another main one that I'm forgetting that I knew that they were what I think they're going to add. But we might even get some more career scenarios. You never know. But I love the mini update that they kind of posted with the new flat ride. I thought that was pretty neat that they just kind of threw that at us out of nowhere. But as you can see in the video, I'm actually make the wave turn just a little bit larger, and it makes me, or gives me a little bit more extra room for the barrel roll, and to be able to work on that just a bit more. I had to retract this many times, and I continue to do it here in this episode, but I get a lot closer to getting this perfected. And after riding it on the POV, it is very close. It's actually getting a lot closer than it was before, and I'm very happy with that. So I can't wait. I hope I can get this perfect, and if not, I can get as close as I can I'm gonna get as close as I possibly can. If it's the last thing I do, that is going to be the goal, is to get this layout as perfect as possible. And it's never going to be perfect. Recreations are never going to be perfect, but if I can get as close as possible, that is going to be the fantastic part. And the fact that I had the track length, you know, the length of the track within nearly 10 feet, that's absolutely huge, I think. And I think it's going to be cool. I think that's amazing. I just think that's really cool that I got that close, you know. And I might adjust it a little, other track pieces, and it might help out with that 10 extra feet, and see if I can't get it very close. So as you can see, there's still other places in the layout that I do need to work on, but overall that was the main one I wanted to work on in this episode, was more of the barrel roll and the wave turn. But I think I'm going to go back a little bit to the 153 as well eventually, because that element was looking a little bit rough as well. But overall, we're getting very close, I think, to the layout being where I want it. So that's going to be really cool and really good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, how it's turning out, and just everything, you know. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. And here is a quick little POV for you, by the way. That's pretty much it for this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe again. I can't stress that enough. I love hearing your guys' feedback, and anytime you guys give me feedback, it's amazing. You guys have great suggestions, and I want to hear what you guys think so far of this recreation. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great day and an even cooler tomorrow, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much, and goodbye.